Hello everybody. Today we'll be discussing physiology of sensation part 2. In the part 1 we have learned regarding the coding of sensory information. We have learned that how the action potential, which is ultimate language of central nervous system, which is coming from receptor up to the cerebral cortex, how the cortex differentiates it as touch, pain, temperature, and from which part of the body it is coming, and how much is the intensity of stimulation, and the brain adapts to it also, that is duration. So these 4 attributes of sensation we have learned how the brain decodes it. Now just to add something more regarding this coding, decoding and further clearance, we'll see this is the functional distribution of cerebral cortex. In this sequence, this is a yellow area, which is the sensory area. So here we'll be having our whole sensory homunculus. So whole body presentation will be there in this part of the cortex, which is yellow. It is in the postcentral gyrus. We have learned the section of this one. So in this area whole sensory information comes, and it is in a proportion to the human function that we label as sensory homunculus. Now as we know that almost all the ascending tracts are basically taking a ending second order neuron in the thalamus. So let's see what is the function of thalamus. So we can assess it by taking a section of somatosensory cortex. Means in case of humans, if somatosensory cortex is destroyed, commonly happens in case of hemorrhage or brain tumor, or because of ischemia to that part of the cortex, where because of loss of blood supply that part of our cortex is gone. In that condition, sensory cortex is not functioning. Now in this person only thalamus functioning. Let's see what are the sensation which remains. That person basically loses critical tactile sensibility. Fine touch sensation goes off, but slight degree of crude tactile sensation does retain. That means person will perceive I am getting some touch, but what he will not be able to differentiate. It will be crude. Something is touching me. Where, how, what it is being touched by, whether it is cotton or pain, he will not be able to differentiate. So basically, function of thalamus is perception. Fineness takes place in the sensory cortex. Now further to add other sensation, he will have little effect on perception of pain sensation. He will have the pain is present. It is generally slightly lost. He will not be able to localize where from the pain is coming, but differently he will be getting pain sensation. So perception of pain is again coming from thalamus. Plus he will have only moderate effect on perception of temperature. That will be again present. So this experiment proves that thalamus has got an important function of perception of pain, temperature and touch. But on all this, the fine localizing ability is gone. So that will be a function of sensory cortex. Now what major function it is having, how it makes again localization very perfect. The cortex has got one more mechanism, just like as it is receiving from spinal cord, medulla, thalamus, everything is receiving. Similarly, it is giving some feedbacks back to all these 3 also. So cortex gives some fibers in descending format to thalamus, medulla and spinal cord. So signals are transmitted backward direction from cortex to the thalamus, medulla and spinal cord. These are basically all inhibitory control fibers. They are inhibitory in nature. These neurons which will be coming down from cortex to all this, they are inhibitory in nature. So they control the intensity of sensitivity of sensory input. They will put up the brakes on that one. These are called as corticofugal signals. So they decrease transmission in relay neuron. I'll give you example. For example, you are going on a road. Many people are coming in front of you, but you don't recognize any individual. But suddenly you say, "Hey, this is my class fellow." Now, how this has happened? All sensations are coming, but they are being inhibited. Now, this will not get inhibited because you have got memory in your brain. Okay, this is a very familiar picture which is coming in front of you. Let's allow it. So this is the basically mechanism of brain. It will allow familiar impulses to reach the sensory cortex, and unfamiliar, unwanted are being inhibited. So this is called as the corticofugal signals. They are inhibiting unwanted signals to come, and they make the sensory input very sharp. So their basic function is it decreases lateral spread of sensory signals into adjacent neuron, and therefore increases degree of sharpness in the signal pattern. So it keeps the sensory system operating in a range of sensitivity. So all these corticofugal fibers which are coming from cortex going down, they will decrease unwanted signals coming to the sensory cortex. So they will fine it so that sharpening of image will take place. You will be able to localize the signals in much better way. So tactile localization and discrimination. So first was by this corticofugal fibers. Now localization, if you just recall this diagram of sensory homunculus, where we know that whole body presentation is there, but it is in proportion to the body function. So part of the body which are performing very skilled action, your fingers are having very skilled action. A surgeon with a finger, he is doing a surgery, macroscopic surgeries are done. Finger is your handwriting, that is your identity. So this part of the body is giving a more proportion in the cerebral cortex. So that's why in this part of the body, whenever a stimulus is coming, you will be able to localize in much better way. You can easily localize from which part of the body the impulse is coming. Your lips are performing skilled action. So this part of the body are having more presentation in the cortex, so localization is better in these areas. On the contrary, this back, you will be able to localize in much poor way. So this you can understand in a better way by a tactile discrimination ability. What is this? Basically, 2-point discrimination threshold is a measure of tactile acuity. Means when two stimulus are placed on the surface of the body is able to differentiate them two separately. So the minimum distance required to separate these two stimulus is called as tactile discrimination ability. This again varies in different part of the body, right from head to the toe. This ability is smallest where touch receptors are most abundant. For example, our fingertip, if you keep two pins separately at a distance of more than 2 millimeter, the person will say he is getting 2 pin pricks. So a 2 millimeter differentiation is there at fingertip. On the contrary, if you keep this finger 2 pins on your back at 3 centimeters distance, for example 30 millimeter, still the person will perceive this as a single pin prick only. He will feel a single touch sensations only. But you should be in the dermatome only. If you are keeping in one dermatome, two stimulus at 30 millimeters apart, still the person will perceive this as a single sensation. This will be understood in a much better way when we do a practical examination. During practical examination, we will demonstrate you what is tactile discrimination. Through our calipers are there with the 2 prongs. We are keeping on different part of the body, and we'll ask the individual whether he is perceiving a single sensation or 2 sensation. For example, like this and like this, 2 are kept on this surface, and we'll ask him whether he is getting a 2 or single. For example, this is the surface of back, one stimulus here, one stimulus here. Person will still perceive as a one only till you increase the distance. So usually on the back it is almost 65 millimeters, 6.5. On the contrary, on the fingertips, you're keeping like this. So even it is 2.5 millimeter apart, the person will feel these two as separate. So we'll have a better demonstration during our practical. So this is called as 2-point discrimination, that is a tactile acuity. This is smallest where touch receptors are most abundant. 2-point discrimination is used to test integrity of dorsal column, that is middle lemniscus system, central pathway for touch and proprioception. Now apart from this, whatever I taught you during the physiology of sensation 1 and 2, additional things you must read now is function of somatosensory area 1 from Guyton, page number 611 to 614. Somatosensory association areas and effect of removing the somatosensory association areas. So here we are completing physiology of sensations. I have taken must to know category, desirable to know, nice to know. After understanding this will generate some questions in your mind. Try to read from textbook physiology Guyton, Gannon, try to solve the queries. Still things are remaining. We'll have a Zoom discussion in the coming tomorrow or day after tomorrow. You can note down your questions and then we'll have a discussion on the Zoom, or you can send me questions on the WhatsApp so that we can discuss and clarify your concepts. Thank you.